he pretty much turned it into a 4. Grimstroke, Earthshaker. Grimstroke being a hero that has had a lot of success. I believe yesterday was 4 for 4. I don't know what its current win rate is, but pretty much before this tournament, Insania talked it up to me. I was like, I'm sold. I like Grimstroke a lot.
It's definitely a liquid hero for sure.
Yeah, I think Aiden's been playing it for a long time now.
What makes it a liquid hero?
He pushes waves.
Okay.
That's the biggest thing. Wants to abuse pull, stack camps. Very liquid. Like to unsafe lane to push a wave and stack a lot. You know, they like to have like bristles and carriers that can farm big stacks, and then Insania is kind of responsible for making them.
Do you like to build around the ultimate with it, or does it not matter?
I think that's the thing about the hero is that you have multiple ways to go. Like you can basically go and play around your ink swell, or you can play around your ulti and have some combo, you know. But you don't really need a combo with the ulti. I would say it's like a bonus, but you usually want to have a combo with ink swell. I think it's like his best spell probably, especially in early game. He enables you to make moves on the map with some 4, like usually some hero that will run in for you.
9 games picked and has won 6 of them.
I think we just played 2. Did we just play 2 games? I think we played at least 1. I can't remember what we played the first game actually, but I think we had at least. I'm trying to think.
It's not bad. 6 out of 9.
Yeah, you did play against it twice.
No, we had it
or
twice.
Or you had it twice, rather. Sorry.
Yeah, I know Fnatic played it a lot too. They played it probably the most of any team here.
Well, you want to talk about annoying combinations. They both have them between the support and what will eventually be the core. You've got Inkswell, Grimstroke plus somebody. On the other side, you've got the Snapfire Cookie plus, in this case, the Juggernaut. So you're going to see a jumping, spinning ballerina Juggernaut land on your face and do a bunch of damage.
Very classic combo.
Yeah. Real annoying.
There's a couple of heroes that can deal with it though. Like, you pick some puck, like this lane is not going to do basically anything to you because they have no setup, you know. So it's good against a lot of heroes, but there's also some heroes that it doesn't do anything to. So I'm curious to see what they're going to ban. They banned Slardar, which I think is just a good hero against Jugger, but there's some heroes that can just avoid this combo.
So you're looking at like Slardar for sure, but then outside of that, maybe some ranged offlaners, especially since they have Earthshaker,
I was
right?
thinking Pango, but it's banned already. Puck, maybe. It's like a little bit less popular now, but it's a good hero against the combo.
Okay.
You definitely can't really, unless they're planning to like pull waves and stuff, you can't really just pick a lane that just sits there and dies at low 2, you know.
Right.
You need to have some sort of solution.
Well, of the heroes that would have a solution for that,
I mean, the thing is, it still has to be like a good hero, you know.
Yeah.
They might go aggressive. As a possibility. Racer's good against Jugger. They have Shaker as well. It's kind of easy to go aggro with. So.
Yeah, and you always love the Shaker Razor combination.
Yeah.
Whether it's a long range stun or even better if it's a block.
Yeah. Shakers can maybe disrupt this combo, like if you fish as well, you know. If your core doesn't move out of position while Fisher's cooldown, he can kind of always block the Jugger. So.
We've seen this. I feel like I've been seeing this all over the place in my pubs and such. It's just somebody picks a melee offlaner, take some safe lane Razor. I've seen a few people try and run some offlane Razor to.
That sounds very NA.
Yeah, that's very monkeys forever, right?
Yeah,
that's where we're at right now.
There's 2 European teams though. Actually, they're not European.
One of them's NA now.
Yeah, but European players mostly.
How's your experience with NA pubs, Crit?
It has its ups and downs for sure.
Wait, what are the ups?
I mean, sometimes you just go on a roll, you know, like the last couple of days I've been randoming, you know, and I win the game. Then you feel like, oh, these pubs were fine because you're winning.
Yeah.
And then you start losing and it's really bad. You know?
The morons are on the enemy team. Everything's grand.
Yeah. Like, you know, when you're losing in NA, it's a lot worse than when you're losing in Europe. Basically. That's how I would put it.
Okay.
It feels, you can really feel the difference when you're losing, but when you're winning, sometimes you take the win and you get out, you know.
Are there any players that you just avoid? Because I've been watching a lot of NA pubs recently, and I've seen a lot of players get real fucking mad and be like, all right, this is the last game I'm playing with this guy, and they'll avoid some notable people.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, definitely avoided a couple of notable people, but I wouldn't say it's
Crit,
like.
be honest. Have you avoided me? It's okay.
I don't think I can't remember last. It's been a while since we played together, so I don't think so.
Dodgeable.
I'm pretty sure my list is not that big. I have like a couple of 4 players in there if I want to play 4. Yeah.
Okay. I feel it. Pugna. Well, that is kind of the ranged off laner.
Yeah, but
he's fast enough that I think he could probably stay ahead of the combo.
yeah, he's pretty squishy though.
Yeah.
If they ever misstep or if he uses Fissure, he can die.
And there's something that we saw that from the earlier matchup with the Necrophos versus Mars. Is like just because you can go, physically immune doesn't necessarily mean that heroes like this can still output a lot of magic damage.
Yeah, but I think this is like a very. It goes both ways because I think Pugna doesn't want to play against these heroes that can kind of get on top of you before they have like Blink or something.
Mm-hmm.
And Mars is kind of one of those low 6 initiation heroes. So I think he has to be a little bit careful when he hits towers, because if Mars is there, he gets arena, he's going to die.
Right.
Is Razor the envy hero here? Or do you think it's going to go
I think
to
it's
Ace?
an open hero for them.
Mhm.
We'll see because they don't have last pick, right? So actually, they do have last pick.
Well,
so it's going to be open for them.
I don't think I've seen Ace play Razor.
Yeah, he plays it.
Oh,
They
he
both
does?
play
Okay.
it. That's the thing about this team is that they have very confident players. Like they can play a lot of heroes, all of them, and they're probably gonna be like confident enough to also play heroes that they're like as when Envy played Monkey against us. I don't think it's one of the heroes he's played a lot, but he's still playing it.
So are any of these cores that you see right now, do you want that matchup against the Ember Spirit, or are you picking a different mid? Like Razor versus Ember Spirit?
They could put Razor mid. I think that's fine for them, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they want the Razor against Mars. That's probably a good matchup too.
Yeah, it is.
But they don't see the 4, right? You could pick a hero that's good against this Razor and Grim lane, and Mars could bully Razor, I guess. We'll see.
Yeah, the best defense Mars has against that Razor matchup is just you got to make sure you land your spear. You land the spear, then everything will actually be kind of okay.
If you miss, you're dead.
Yeah. You'll have to slowly bulwark your way backwards and probably eventually die anyway.
I could see Cloud9 play Meepo here, just because it's one of Ace's favorite heroes. They have last pick against Ember,
Oh, yeah.
and they're kind of out of the tournament, so...
Sure.
Okay, maybe not.
Maybe not now.
Never mind.
OG.Seed protecting themselves perhaps against that pick.
Yeah, precaution.
How often would you say in a draft do you do the preemptive pick?
It's kind of like the last solution, If you feel like you usually last ban and you're about to pick a hero and you're like, oh, they might pick this, and you're like, oh yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Maybe one of the hero options you have is a little bit better against what you're scared of, and then you'll choose that one.
Okay.
Do you think that's definitely a fear pick, that they're scared of the Meepo, or do you think they just like the...
I mean, it's hard to say, right? It could be little bit of both. Like maybe they're just like, oh, it's a good hero here, and it's also good if they Meepo. It could be like that.
Yeah, they've got some...
I don't think they pick it just because they're scared of Meepo, because then
Yeah.
they would have just banned it, right? I don't think that's it.
They've got some decent setup for it. You've got chains to be able to set up for the stomp or the ult. You got a way to lock people down with the arena and spear.
Yeah, ET Ember is a classic combo. It's very good together. Chains, and then you have an easy setup for stomp.
Envy Sven.
Big old Sven comes back. Sven has been is Sven's small resurgence into the meta. Is that more about other carries getting nerfed, or is Sven actually okay again?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I wouldn't say I have an opinion on it, to be honest.
All right. Well, we'll see whether or not our other panelists have an opinion on that. First, a break, and then Cloud9 versus OG.Seed. Now, those of you at home are going to be looking at this. You're going to look at the Liquipedia article. You're going to be looking at the number of wins that Cloud9 has, or rather the lack of them, saying, well, they've got nothing to play for. That is wrong. Here at the Summit, 1,500 for every game that you win. On top of that, Cloud9, you're just playing for respect and honor it, and you're trying to get better, right? Mm-hmm. And OG.Seed is a good team to try and test your mettle against. And so there's definitely some decent things on the line here for Cloud9. Meanwhile, OG.Seed, they want to be able to solidify themselves in that top 4. I'm not sure if there's any chance of them ending up in a tiebreaker, but better to be safe than sorry.
I was speaking to some of Cloud9 earlier, and very clearly do not want to go out of this tournament with no wins.
Yeah.
Understandable, I would say. Yeah. I mean, I think it's always more fun to win. You know, it's just sad when you lose. So even if you're not winning for anything, it's still nice to just win.
There's only so many times the excuse of like, well, we're a new team, we're still trying to figure things out. There's only so many times that excuse can fly.
Yeah.
Until somebody might get to a breaking point here. We're going to have Misery sitting with Snaking here in the offlane. Looks like Pilot is thinking about joining up, but it's actually a full 5-man stack here from OG.Seed, prepared for an invasion into their jungle. They're going to get the easy first blood on the Pilot die. Misery is going to be pinged out, but unlikely to be run down.
That's a rough start.
Well, I see more Cloud9 members kind of smells like their 2 cores are still kind of running over, like maybe they would do something.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Chizzy got the first blood too. That means he's going to have boots early against the Racer. That's really nice for him.
Yeah.
So it looks like Sibe has Windlace, which is kind of weird, because I think he should know that he's like,
Oh.
Nicely done.
I don't know if that was on purpose, but did the job.
Hey, either way.
3 runes.
Either a pit or a tree. Probably going to get
Doesn't
that
matter,
bounty
yeah.
rune. So you get 3 on top of the first blood. And if I'm not wrong, I think that matchup is actually okay for Mars, because if you
it
get
should
Bulwark level 2, you can actually block the cleave damage.
Yeah, it should be fine. But I'm just curious why he bought Windlace against his lane, because I feel like he just wants to have stats in region, to be honest.
Do you think there was any chance they could have run like Sven mid against Ember?
I would say it's definitely it wouldn't have been bad for them, but I think it's unlikely. You know, I don't think Jack is gonna play mid Sven. I think it wouldn't have been bad because he's gonna have a free lane against Ember, and Racer's kind of fine against Mars too. But yeah, I mean maybe they thought that. I think it's a little bit low chance, but it could be why.
He could be worried about the Grim slow, trying to get away.
Yeah, maybe he wants to run, but the thing is like they have so much stun, right? So if he gets stunned and he's worried about dying, like he's probably gonna die in the stun anyway. I think if he buys like a bracer or like buys stats and then sends a bracer first on career, then he's a higher chance of living.
And he does manage to get the creep wave pulled onto the range creep. They'll try and get that deny, actually picked up by the spear instead. Seafreak will continue his pulling shenanigans.
This lane is a mess.
What do you think about this trend where the offlane is like the 4, the 3, just cut the wave, drag it back to behind the tower?
I hate it. I hope they change the game.
It's a pretty boring job for a 4 position,
I
right?
mean, it's also like, it's just not very high skill, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's, I feel like the best meta or whatever was when there was always like laning. There was always like either you have to get your lanes right, or like you tri lane, or you dual lane, like 3v3s and 2v2s. Those lanes are like the hardest part about Dota.
So would you be an advocate of just like cutting all of like lane creep pulling and any of that sort of stuff? Just make it so the creeps just always run through the lane, they always get to where they're supposed to be, and just deny that entire...
Yeah, I definitely would. But the problem is I don't know how you do it without like stopping pulls. You know? Yeah. So I don't know. I think it would be better, but it's not part of the game.
We saw all that magic damage put to great effect on Snaking earlier. Meanwhile, Z-Freak, he's going to go down here in the top lane. Any sort of Grimstroke combination with a stun is always going to be a dangerous one.
Why do you think they picked the Pugna here?
Did you see that real quickly? He slid a fist in neutrals.
Did he remove the link? Oh,
yeah, he
cool,
went far enough away to break the link. That was cool. So that's a Radiant side advantage for the Ember versus Razor matchup for sure.
It's a niche advantage,
Yeah.
but you know.
I don't know if a lot of players would have thought about that unless they saw somebody else do it, you know?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
That's pretty smart.
Yeah,
Someone's got to think of it first.
Yeah.
You play enough pubs, I'm sure you see it.
Yeah. If you watch some Thompson, maybe.
Dota is very much a game of imitation, right?
Yeah.
It's like a lot of people, somebody figures something small out, and at the end of the day, many of these players are just an accumulation of things that they've seen other people do and just have created better versions of it.
Yeah.
Another jump, another cookie, another spin, unless somehow Misery can get the separation. It's very difficult, but maybe he can get it here. Tries to pump fakes it, gets it at the end there. Ooh. Turns around to Crabfly. Oh, gets shot by the scatter blast. He tries to set it up to get the kill on a Madara here, but Misery may not be fast enough to chase him down. He's actually a little bit faster. May have like a Windlace advantage or something here, or Boots advantage, that's what it is, but sadly he doesn't do enough damage. Unless
There's no
he-
mana. How much for Fisher? Nah, he won't
Fisher,
have it.
no.
Yeah, this seems like a very scary lane for the king.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Misery was a bit slow on the Fisher. I think he messed up a little bit by moving close to the Jugger, made it harder for him to get an angle to block him.
Yeah.
And then he had to kind of wait for the spin. I mean, he could have still lived on Pugna if he just ran instead of turning. So.
Oh, he actually gets him.
Okay.
Wait, oh, he Fishered him? I think probably he's fine with dying on Snapfire because he's no mana, no HP. Jugger probably wants to get. Oh, actually, Jugger has no gold, so. I mean, maybe he just wanted to heal anyway.
Yeah.
Well, somebody's courier died down there, so.
Oh, that was top, right? The ET
Highlights.
killed the courier, I think?
No, Misery killed
Misery
one of the.
killed the courier?
Yeah, he killed
Oh.
a courier down there, so
Oh.
maybe it's it's just like, all right, ferry some items to the jug.
No
The
Fisher up.
combination, man.
Oh, my son.
Yeah, I think that's a problem, right? Because in theory, like if you play it safe and your Shaker always has Fisher up, like he's not gonna die in Pugna. But this time, I don't think he has mana on Shaker and Snaking's out of position, or he's just gonna die every time.
Yeah, it's one of those like theoretical, like okay, if you
Yeah.
play perfectly, it'll be fine, but
You have to communicate it too.
yeah.
In what world is the Pugna worth the risk?
I think it's. I mean, it's hard to say, right? Because I think they picked Pugna because they have Grimstroke. You know, the combo. I think that's the biggest reason why they picked it. Also, it's a good hero with Shaker in the game. Like it's just nice combo. I think they
It's
just
good
like
against Jug Omni Slash.
Yeah,
and stuff.
you know, it's a decent Pugna game. I can see why they picked it, and it's also kind of an open hero. You know, it could go mid potentially, even though they picked Ratio too. You know, but I think it's just like a decent hero.
Nice block off there. Chessie actually went for the slight there just to see if he could dodge the Fisher and maybe simultaneously break the link at the same time, but slightly misses it, and as a result will fall to the mid lane.
But yeah, I think the Grimstroke is. I think mostly it's because they have, or the Pugna. I think it's mostly because they have Grimstroke. It's a pretty good combo.
Yeah. Well, Snaking quite poor, having died so many times, and is now in that position where he's died enough times that now he's just threatened by kind of any little maneuver.
He's dead again.
Yeah, and they're going to go for him again, so unless they can actually get the Fisher separation, but you can see Madara just kind of plays back and forth in front of him as much as possible, making Misery's job that much harder.
What's that, 3 deaths? 4. Oh, Jesus.
He's having a rough one for sure. Z-Freak is going to find the Inkswell exploding onto him, but he's still going to turn around, try and hit Eternal Envy one more time. Is that enough to be able to get the kill? It will with the spear. It actually pushes Misery away on top of that, so Jibe will be able to run himself away, no problem.
The Misery has 2-1-0 skill bot. I don't think he has Aftershock, right? Yeah, he could have. He would have saved him if he had
Yeah.
Aftershock.
That's kind of,
That's different.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit different, but it's not. It's not like bad.
He's got it now.
Yeah.
Nice Fisher block.
No spear.
Very much in trouble. Attempts to go for the God's Rebuke pushback, but unfortunately Inkswell is too large of a radius.
They want
And
Jackie to get it.
they're going to give it to Jackie. 6-5, a very slight net worth lead for OG.Seed. So all those deaths for Snaking in the bottom lane, it isn't coming at too big of a cost for the overall game plan of C9.
Yeah, it's because Shaker has high net worth. Basically the difference, right?
Yeah.
ET is 500 behind Shaker.
Man, Grimstroke Earthshaker makes that hero notably better in some of these melee fights, but a good Snapfire cookie actually saves Z-Freak, and now Misery's going to be chased down by Chessie. Spirit's going to follow him all the way. The spear clips him, and Chessie finishes him off his leg.
Chessie's actually doing really well in net worth, but I'm not sure if his lane is that bad for him. He also got first blood, which probably changed his lane a little bit, but he's actually keeping up with the racer.
Yeah, just had that one death.
Yeah.
Level 8 Razor. At what point are you looking, like he did quite well in his lane. He's second in net worth right now. What point do you want to try and assert your dominance over the side lanes?
I think he has to be a little bit careful this game because they have so much damage for him. Like
Okay.
they have Snapfire, Ember, Mars. Mars can basically solo kill him. So he probably wants to wait for his jewels before he's gonna play like really aggro.
Okay.
unless he's playing with all of his team. I think Snaking is probably going to try to force them to go on him, so Racer can farm and Sven can farm. So Snaking might die a lot the next couple of minutes if they focus on him. If not, then he might just get a free tower bot. Looks like they're not going to him. Jackie shouldn't die to this, but he will.
Pushed into the wall, then speared to the wall, then cookied, then stomped. There's so much. Eternal Envy was able to live through all of that now. He's got nowhere to run, though. Eventually will fall.
Yeah.
Goes to show how tanky this Sven is, though.
That's a little bit of greedy from Jaggy, to be honest, because it's like an obvious rotation. Marsh is level 7, you know. They're all missing. Pugna's blasting bot tower, nobody's showing. I don't
Yeah,
think
that pressure at bottom should really tip you off, right?
He shouldn't die there, for sure.
Keen Optic, can't forget that.
Simple spin TP out.
Big advantage that Juggernaut has over the Sven. Just no.
Yeah, they have no counter to Jug actually, and it was first phase Jug.
Mm-hmm.
They have no spin TP cancel.
Yeah,
it's
that's
pretty bad. It's gonna be hard for him to kill him for a long time in this game.
nice use of the Spirit to be able to dodge that Inkswell explosion. Still gets like claim the kill. Envy's now going to be where maybe he should have been all along. Bottom lane, pressuring that tower with Snake King. They can open up the jungle for him to continue farming. Try and finish up that Echo Saber, it looks like.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where he knows he's supposed to be bot. Like even when he's dying top, he knows he's supposed to be bot. So he could do the same thing, but he could just avoid the death. You know, TP bot a little bit earlier. Just too greedy.
Do you think Snake King recovers at this point?
I mean, I think he's level 7, right? I think he'll be fine. Like he'll catch up. The hero naturally just farms waves pretty fast.
Nice Fisher. The cookie is still going to be able to land, actually stunning the two of them together. There's going to be the save, though, from Snake King trying to heal up Ace. If he can land enough of those shots from the Snapfire, they'd be able to get the kill anyway. Chessie's still going to go for it, diving and diving deeper. With the Ember Spirit, he will manage to get that kill. He's now going to turn back for Misery, even underneath this tower. It's not safe enough. Turns around, Echo slams up Pexu underneath the Tier 1, but the Tier 1 can't finish him off. And nobody dies on the side of OG.Seed while they claim very important kill in Ace's Razor.
Yeah, Mars wasn't even there. He's just up.
Seems like when we were talking about Cloud9 yesterday, it felt like they always had different game plans. They never played together as much as we wanted them to.
I think it's just it's like a natural thing with their team, because they're good. It's something about like these players, like by nature, are also very like macro type of players. Like they want to play the map correctly, and it's not something you just do after 1 week of practice. You know, it takes a while to play the map, and like being in the red spot on all 5 heroes at all times is not easy, and they play very split.
Right.
So it's gonna look a little bit messy sometimes.
So what do you think the play is right now for C9? How do they like get some momentum back into this game?
Nah, the problem for them is that they have a Sven Sven is basically just gonna farm. He's not gonna do anything. Jugger can help his team right now. He's a decently strong hero, but Sven needs time. And they don't really have much playmakers on Dire, you know. Like they have a Shaker, but he's position 4. He's not close to Blink. Like he's Soul Ring 2, right? And a Windlace, so he's like 1600 away. And he's the only stun they have to really play with. So they kind of need to wait for Ace to have his jewels. I don't know if he's close, but yeah, he's not really close. It's going to be like 2 minutes. So they kind of messed up a little bit of their timing by Ace dying twice. I think if he didn't die, if he's just dodging this fight and they let Shaker Pugna sit mid and defend, then he will have his jewels at this point, and then they can make plays. But now they're like slowed down completely. They lost their mid tower. Sven needs to farm. Shaker needs to farm. Ratio needs to farm. They all need to farm. Nobody can really make plays. So
let's just wait.
Yeah, you have to play. You have to wait and try to get as much on the map as possible without like feeding. You know, like they want to get as much as possible because they can't let OG just take over.
There's no like audible play where Sven runs around with Earthshaker and Pugna.
I think it's so desperate. I think it's gonna be if you do it and it doesn't work for you, it's gonna lose you the game basically, because you can't afford to slow down all of your items like another 2 minutes. Basically, what just happened mid lane where Ace died twice is gonna like result in them having like a way later timing. So if you do it again, it's gonna happen like the same thing, you know.
You know, the sad part is, well, Misery And that's one
TD.
sad part. He's going to be caught. Eternal Envy, he's trying to make his way over to be able to defend him with a Stormhammer. He's going to pop the God Strength and then decide there's too many heroes here to be able to bail out his support. Won't be able to do anything. TP's out.
That's a good thing he TP'd out.
Yeah.
I think that's a good play by Misery. Honestly, he's playing the lane that's the furthest away from his team. You know, he's like all the way out on top lane, away from everything, and he's farming there. You know, so even if he dies, like he's gonna force Ember there. He forced DT there. It relieves some pressure on the map. For like Sven got to farm an ancient camp. Razor's pushing bot. He didn't die because there's only 2 heroes here, so it's good for them. No, they just need to not die anymore. They can let Pi die.
Spear.
Wait, who's that?
That's snaking. Well, to be honest, it's like snaking is because you're talking about how they all need this network. Well, snaking's going to be the one that tanks the most, right? Because you have to get the Yules. You need your Blink Dagger and Misery, and Eternal Envy's not going to stop farming. He's their win condition. Yeah, Misery, he's going to get caught again. Speared back into OG.Seed. This use of pick up a Blink Dagger on the Mars, just allowing to really continue to push the advantage that they hold right now.
Yeah. They're just playing fast and abusing that. Cloud9's not ready. They were punishing them on the lanes.
Is that something you can sense in the game when you're just like, they don't have their item timings, they're not going to fight, it's just keep running at
if you're a good team, you know, you will punish it. If you're not playing your best, like you might just farm even if you have your Blink on Mars, you know. It just depends if you're like on point. If you're playing fast and if you're focused, then you're going to shut down the map as much as possible. And it's hard for C9 right now because I feel like they're not reading OG very well. Like they did the right thing. Misery's top, he's Dragon in top, and they used Arena and Snapfire ulti bot without killing Razor, and they just still died because they stuck around too long. Misery TP'd back in even though he doesn't have Blink yet and died again. Like just small things. Like they need to understand that they need to wait for their timing.
It feels like Jug lineups are some of the best at pushing a small advantage very hard. So that I don't really see, unless OG.Seed stop messing up massively, how they're going to crumble here, but we'll never know.
The thing about Jug is like he's a hero that doesn't necessarily scale very well because he's very Omnislice reliant, and he's basically he might just kill one hero with Omnislice, but even then he's against Pugna, and the Razor's gonna have Yules, you know, so they have ways to play around Jugger. The problem is for them that OG.Seed have so many good spells. Like they have Snapfire, Ember has good spells, ET gives a lot of amp with his aura, they have some Mars, you know, and Dire's teamfight is kind of not reliable in the same way. Like they have Shaker with Echo Blink, but yeah, he's not gonna get it.
Doesn't even have Blink.
Yeah, and they just don't have enough ways to really do anything on the map because his Razor Pugna are kind of limited to the Shaker enabling them, and he's not ready. So they really need to prioritize Misery getting Blink. It's really important to them.
And as we see kill after kill, just raining in for OG, you see the odds reflect that as those who supported Cloud9 at the start of this series, seeing this game 1 15 minutes in, those odds changed quite sharply. We're going to see the Pugna quickly get bursted down from that very long range and continue the assault on the tower. No rush. Just play around with the healing ward. They can wait until Spin comes back up. Again, they just know Cloud9 does not feel comfortable fighting them right now.
Yeah, they're playing well. They understand that this Dire lineup is really item dependent. So if they don't let them have items, like they will just keep getting leads. You know, they're not doing like solo moves where they don't see anyone on the map, but they're like shutting down the map smartly. You know, they're not like going on Jackie without anybody showing in the base. They see this Pugna, and they just go on him because Jackie's top. You know, they know they're not ready to fight if they commit on this Pugna in mid.
Yeah. That's such an Eternal Envy move right there, and that like when he knows he's caught, he just kind of accepts it and gets what farm he can, right? He's just like, well, if I'm dead anyway, might as well be as efficient as possible.
Right.
The Snapfire is such a good counter to that Earthshaker because they're just trying to trap people in and they can't because he's
basically a free force stuff.
A little bit like the Clockwork matchup.
Yeah, exactly.
One of your plays is just kind of ruined by the hero.
Do you think that hero's too strong right now?
Snapfire? Oh yeah, for sure.
What would you nerf about it? Is it because we already nerfed the damage on the ultimate? Does that need another touch up? Do we need to touch up Scatterblast a little bit?
It's hard to say. You can modify a lot of things. I just think it has too much, like on lane at low 2, it's too strong. The ulti, if you compare it to other ults in the game, it's just absurd, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure. There's a lot of things you can do, you know. You can make the projectile speed of the ulti slower. Like some small things like that will make the hero a lot worse.
Yeah.
Maybe give the cookie some calories so the heroes get fat.
So they're a little bit slower after they eat the cookie. Yeah, they land on the ground, but they're a little slow.
If they do too much, they have to take a breather.
It's too real for me right now.
It's maybe a little too real for all of us. 19-5, 19 minutes in, a kill a minute for OG.Seed. And one thing that I liked was the fact that they were assaulting the tier 3 and weren't bothering with Roshan before that. It was like a really, you weren't following the formula, you know, of like get Roshan before you go high ground and such. Sure. They just had a strong understanding of like Cloud9's not going to fight us right now. We can actually push this a bit. Yeah,
they also don't have great Rosh, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, the Jugger is basically like, he's really good at pushing waves fast early. He's good at hitting towers. He has a lot of sustain, but his like damage on Rosh is not great, you know. And Ember's really bad at Roshing. Mars is okay when he has Vlads, but you know it's not a lot of damage. So it's gonna basically take them like a minute and a half to do Rosh, and all the heroes kind of have to be there. So that's a minute and a half for Cloud9 to play the map, you know.
Sure.
Well, C9 have hit a timing now. Sven BKB, Misery finally has his.
They're actually not that weak anymore. They've stalled the lead a little bit. It's been around 7 to 8k for a while. It's not looking too bad for Dire.
Ace.
They might chase him here.
Getting scared into using a static link. They break it, then go back in. Zibe's going to go, use his ultimate here, try and pin him into the wall. Does manage to land that with the Snapfire ultimate raiding in. Snaking knows he can't even save him. Even if he tried to go for the life drain, it just wouldn't heal enough with that combination. So they just back it up. Cloud9, as you guys were talking about, have hidden item timing. They can wait for a better fight.
Now the question is for Cloud9, because OG.Seed have Aegis and they're still strong, you know. Do they want to wait for Racer BKB? Like, do they want to wait for the next timing, or do they go like instantly and go with the Dagger of Shaker? Because if they lose the first fight, like right now, if they go smoke, like they might just lose the game, you know. So you want to kind of like make sure you pick your timing. You're not gonna have like a second chance anymore. So if you choose this timing now with Shaker and no BKB on Racer, and you lose the fight, then you might just lose the game.
If, in your experience, is Misery a patient captain like that? Or do you feel like he's pushing the team like, hey, we've got these items, we should try and make use of them?
He's good at, I think he's good at playing the map, and he's good at holding a lead. So basically, he's really good at doing what OG.Seed is doing right now.
Okay.
It's hard to say, like, when you're losing, sometimes it's better than others. Like, sometimes it's easier for a captain to guide when you're losing, you know?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he's like bad or good at it particularly, but it just depends on the game. This game I think he feels good because he's positioned 4. He has blink on. He has like some power, you know. If you're playing 5, sometimes it's not really your own hero that's gonna make it happen, and it's hard to make the call.
It almost looked like they wanted to kind of bait Snake King atop, but that just harsh, fast initiation from the Mars just left them with little options to be able to work around. They just give up on Snake King, retreat to their own jungle.
I think that's honestly fine for Dire if Ace is farming at the same time. Because if Ace gets BKB, that's a really good timing for them.
Right.
It's going to be a while. I mean, I think at this point they kind of missed the Blink Sven BKB timing, so they might as well wait for the Aegis to run out on Jugger and get the BKB on Racer. Hopefully they don't lose too much on the map at the same time, but they kind of need the double BKB for them to be able to fight. They have so much magic damage on Radiant. And not that much that pierces BKB. None of their supports, Mars doesn't pierce BKB, Ember, it's basically just Omnislash.
So does the fight go like for them, like hope Aegis runs out, try and get a Fissure, Silence, and Link on Madara?
I think they have to commit Echo on some core, you know, like they see Ember on a lane, they go on him with one core.
Blow him up.
Yeah, you blow him up. You use your Echo on the core.
That's where Madara's build makes a lot of sense, right? He has the Aegis, yes, but he's also the tower hitter for this team, and he builds the SNY. So it's going to make it a little bit harder for them to actually get that Earthshaker combo that they want to.
I mean, OG.Seed have a lot of things they can do about it. They have Cookie as well. They can kind of stop the chain.
Ooh. Spears him backwards into the team. A really great play. Yule Scepters himself with the static link who's going to be able to steal some of that damage with Chessie popping his fresh 10-second BKB. Looking to be able to chase him down. Ace is going to go down. Snakey try to keep him alive as long as possible. He does have a buyback, but that would cost him his BKB, and it won't save Snakey, who's now been caught by the arena. 2 cores dead on the side of Cloud9, and it's looking like Eternal Envy is making one of those calls of, guys, this is like another, like very clearly Jackie's teams do this, where it's like, he understands we can't win a fight right now. We can give up a lane of barracks in exchange for still getting our timings.
Yeah,
we're kind of doing that.
I don't know if the team was like on the same page because they lost 2 cores in the base, you know?
Yeah,
like, ideally, it's fine if they want to give up the racks and like maybe Jackie's close to an item, but this Razor's BKB matters more than anything.
Sure.
So he needs to be out on the map farming actually when they're going high ground instead he's dying and now he's not going to have BKB.
Nice use there. Actually throws out the butt spear, had the bulwark, and then threw a spear directly backwards so he wouldn't have to worry about turn rate. Cute little play. Echo Slam actually coming in onto the 2 of them, but unfortunately there was a stun that came out. I think that was the Cookie interrupted the combination. They only got the Echo Slam. Now they're able to turn back around. They're going to be mass buybacks coming out from Cloud9. The Inkswell is not going to be able to stun anybody. They're going to turn back into Ace now at about half HP. Bumped around. Cookie landing on top of him. Razor should be falling here as long as they chase him a little bit more, especially Chessie. Omni Slash is going to be burned out just to make sure that Razor stays dead. They still have more buybacks. OG.Seed, though, they have actually just crippled Cloud9 enough. They're going to call the GG.
That's rough. They never really got to play the game, Cloud9, to be honest. They didn't get the timing they wanted. They kind of just kept taking fights and slowed them down, and then they didn't really get together as 5 at any point in the game, which is kind of a sad way to lose because you don't really get to play.
Yeah, that was that was rough, but for OG.Seed, what I appreciate every single time we cut to them on a victory, like even this one, which they probably felt pretty good about. They were just like, it was very simple. There wasn't a whole lot of stress. Pop up, give each other hugs and stuff. Like you can feel the camaraderie a little bit, you know?
That's nice.
It's like every single time I see Madara and Chessie hugging it out after every game. It's nice.
Nice.
All right, well, OG.Seed versus Cloud9. Bit of a rough one for game 1, but I'm sure Cloud9 are still going to be holding on to that idea of staying, or not staying in the tournament, but not going out without a single win. We still have that chance coming up in game 2. Talk about it after the break.